All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Laser Brains, the podcast that reviews just about every movie ever made. And your co-host Mike Gull, and as always, I'm joined by
Joshua Marvell. And I don't know if you guys know this. Today is actually International Podcasters Day.
Holy moly!
A day of recording. Yeah.
Wow. And it's certainly the most important thing happening today.
It is.
Of course
Absolutely.
it is.
Right.
Right.
The most important thing happening anywhere.
Yeah. Wow. And we were the first ones.
The first ever podcast.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. You can tell we've been doing this a while. Anyway,
Yeah.
we also want to thank Champion
Well, you're welcome. What are you thanking me for?
just being here.
Oh,
as usual.
These guys are great. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sweet. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Here's the Champion.
Is it bad luck to toast to your own?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Anyway, okay, so we're here to talk about a horror movie by Ari Aster, one of my favorite
Ari
directors.
Aster.
One of my favorite directors, who first came to fame from doing Hereditary, which I really liked. And I always thought that Hereditary, The Witch, and It Follows kind of started the modern horror revival, in my opinion. Are you a fan of Hereditary?
Hereditary, yeah, I've seen it. It is really great. I'm not a huge horror movie fan, so
Okay.
when a horror movie can like really grab me and I enjoy it, then I kind of know that it's really good. Because I don't know, it's just not my thing. I think for
Okay.
the most part, but
Horror's not your thing.
yeah, but it's good. He's a great director, and both this movie and Hereditary were
Right.
fantastic. Yeah.
Champion.
Hey,
I understand you're a bigger fan of Midsommar than Hereditary.
I am. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I didn't not enjoy Hereditary.
Okay.
I thought it was very good, and I agree with what you're saying in terms of those particular. I haven't seen The Witch.
Okay.
But
Oh.
it's on my short list.
Yeah.
It has been for a while. The modern revival of horror has been, as someone who also hasn't really been a big horror fan, it is. I don't know if I'm going to say a renaissance of horror, but it's a genre of horror that seems to be a little bit more cerebral,
Sure.
a little bit more thought provoking than just somebody running around cutting people up with an
Right.
axe.
Right.
And there's also a controversy about even like because they call it elevated horror. Then there's controversy about we shouldn't have to call it elevated horror. It's just horror because it's just horror that happens to be good. But I think the
Right.
fact that there was so much schlock for so long in the 80s with all those rip-offs of Friday the 13th and Halloween.
And there's nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
either, right? There's a place for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I guess it'd be like if there was elevated comedies, like we could call Woody Allen's films elevated comedies. Probably not, right?
The Dark Knight is an elevated superhero movie.
Yeah, well, maybe
Yeah.
it is. I don't know. No, but it just like how now here's a counterexample. They can't call them comic books anymore. When they're good comic books, they have to be graphic novels. But really,
Right.
it's a comic book, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the same argument: is that it's just a horror that just happens to be good, right?
Yeah.
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 And now we don't need to summarize this movie because anyone who's watching this has probably seen it. But roughly speaking, basically, a girl's family dies because her sister commits murder-suicide
Yeah.
by killing her parents. Then her boyfriend, who was kind of already on the verge of breaking up with her,
kind of feels stuck in the relationship.
and he
after
feels
that.
stuck.
Yeah.
He reveals that he's actually going to be going to Sweden.
Yep.
Like this weekend, and she didn't know. So now he feels, again, he could have just dumped her, but he feels guilty because what happened. So he
Yeah,
brings
you can't break up with someone like right before their birthday or
Right.
Christmas or Valentine's Day or when their family is murder
right.
suicided.
Exactly.
Right.
We don't
Those
make
are
the
the four
rules.
rules, yeah.
Right. So then she ends up going on this trip, and what ensues is basically, it's a horror. It becomes like this kind of cult, and then all these crazy things happen that
Yeah.
we're not going to reveal. But it's sort of in the tradition of a movie like Wicker Man or movies like that. And the other thing about it is, I believe, except for one deleted scene that was put back in the version we saw, everything is in broad daylight for the rest of the movie.
It's brilliant.
Right. It is
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah. So I'll just say first, I absolutely love this movie, everything about it. And it's the first time I saw Florence Pugh, and I think she was incredible in it. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, she's fantastic. She is, I think, going to be like this generation's great actress.
I agree.
I
I agree.
really think that she's. I mean, she's going places. Like she wasn't just in like a Marvel movie, but like she's really is great. And this movie, it's a testament to a movie when you can set it all during the day and it's still terrifying.
Yes.
Like it's so horrific. And and it's not even like, it's not like it's jump scares or even like that many graphic parts, but it's just like this build up to these like psychological things going on. And the fact that almost nothing happens until like halfway through the movie, I think helps with that, because we know something's off. Like everything's fine, but almost not fine. This is like all these little weird things.
Yep.
And yeah, it's really fun.
And it's remarkable that it can hold your attention for that time when almost nothing significant is happening, right?
Yeah.
Champion.
This movie, I don't throw the word masterpiece around very often, but it approaches that level. It was something completely unexpected for me. I sat down and watched it. The fact that everything was in daylight made it more disturbing, because you're expecting the scary stuff to happen at night. You're expecting the scary stuff to happen like in a darkened room. But when everything is right out in the open, it kind of flies in the face of what you think about what makes effective horror.
Right.
Hidden things that you can't see jumping out at you and not knowing what's going on. Here, the entire thing was psychological, which made it so much more powerful. And there was some gory aspects to it.
Oh yeah.
But that didn't really, like the movie, the tension elevated at a pretty constant rate the entire time. But you'd have these punctuated areas of brutality.
And I think too, it's also not, it was like downplayed in the movie. It's so graphic, but then everybody in the movie is like trying to justify it, normalize it.
Yes,
It's like they're all in shock.
So it's even almost more terrifying for us, because we're like, that's not right. Like that's so like, we are not convinced by what the people are saying. So everything else after that is just like, this seems like a normal thing that you're saying, but I know like you're fucked up.
And what I found was very interesting, because I think we're all talking about the same scene. That happens comparatively very early in the movie.
Right.
Well, like falling off the cliff?
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was like halfway.
It was close to halfway.
It's close to halfway, but in terms of the arc of things getting creepier and
because
creepier.
It's the most horrific thing, but I don't save it for the end.
You expect that to be pretty close to the end. Not like that is essentially what tells them that something's up.
Right.
Like that's when they figure it out. Like we already know a little bit, but
what's interesting is even when that happens, like you said, the rest of the cult is justifying it, and there's no guarantee there's any danger to them.
Right.
You still kind of go, well, maybe it's okay. Maybe this is just the way
because
they
there
are.
is a rational, like it's a horrifying rationalization, but it is a rationalization.
Right.
And it's nothing that is too far outside the realm of another society might touch on this, and it might be normal.
It's also not like they were murderers either.
Right.
You know, like if they were forcing the elders off the cliff, but they sit on the chairs and they're brought up to the cliff, and they themselves cut their hands and put them on the rocks, and they walk to the edge, and it's this like slow moment of them like accepting it and then falling off. So
and it's not a matter of just accepting it either. They revere it.
Right. So it's so normalized.
It's interesting because then, it's like you think, I don't know. It's like, so you're pulled in, you're tricked, and everything's slowly happening. But I love the fact that on the side, there's this weird subplot about the boyfriend, just like
being awful,
just being a dick, just a subtle dick, like, you know, wanting to break up with her but not, and then like planning without telling her, and then bringing her along, and then flirting with the other girl, but just subtle enough that it could be excused. And then the way that he screws over his friend about the PhD thing is just such a weird little thing to add in there. And it's so well done. I love that, because it just gives this general feeling of like not feeling like safe. And then I love the part when the couple who freak out the most when the thing when the thing happens. When the I think it's the guy, or no, the girl's like, oh, well, what happened to my boyfriend? Oh, he left. Like that's the kind
Right.
of, and the reason I love it is because that's the thing that could happen. Like you could be somewhere out in the middle of nowhere and your partner could leave you. It's this,
It's a 2-seater truck. You
Right.
can only take one at a time.
yeah, like, oh no, he left. Oh, I don't know, man. He just left this morning. And that feeling of dread, like, what the hell's going on? And then the fact that Florence Pugh has to explain to her boyfriend why it's a big deal. And he's like, oh, like, whatever, big deal. And she's like, no, it's not normal to do that. And again, she's getting gaslit the whole movie into having all this shit normalized. And that's one of the things I think that makes it great.
And I feel like there's so many times that Chris asks her, like, hey, how's it going? Or are you okay? You okay?
Yeah.
You okay? And it's like so nonchalant. Like after they fall off the cliff and they see this thing, he comes up to her and goes, you okay?
I didn't notice that,
Like
really.
he's just like so doesn't actually care. Like he's only asking because he's obligated to
Right.
ask and not because he actually wants to
Putting
know.
in motions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And almost every conversation that the two of them have, he is facing away from her when they're talking.
I noticed that.
Like they're like all the time, or when they are. A lot of the times, Ari Aster does a really great job of like framing it, where when they are facing each other, he's out of the frame, but like looking at her, and we can see his reflection in a mirror. So it's almost like they're never like making eye contact with each other.
They're never intimate.
Yeah, and then there's one shot too where it's like a close up of Florence. She's on her like knees and she's crying and stressing out about something, and he just comes up behind her and his head is out of frame and asking like, "You okay?" She's like freaking out.
never
or whatever.
noticed that. Wow.
And then like kind of brushes it off like it's fine. Like you're overreacting, whatever. So I think it's a great job in writing, but then also I think how it's shot.
Right.
Really making him look like it did.
Well, and that's the thing too, is if you removed all the horror from this movie, just the relationship of those two is really subtly written and well done.
Yeah.
Like I love the part when the friend gives her a birthday gift and then he basically admits that he forgot. So then he tries to like give her a birthday cake and like
Yeah.
the lighter doesn't work. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot." I don't remember exactly how it plays out, but then she goes, "Oh no, it's my fault.
I didn't remind
I should have
you."
reminded you." Or
Yeah.
like, and the whole audience is like, "We just fucking believe this idiot,
Yeah.
right?" But she's just that. It's like a train wreck, just watching her get manipulated through this whole movie and just not stand up for herself. And that's what I mean about you could take out all the horror, and that aspect itself alone
Yeah.
is great, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just great writing. There's no
He spends the whole movie gaslighting and breadcrumbing.
yes.
Right? Like he's not in, he's not out, he's not making a decision.
Right.
And he's making decisions about every other aspect of his life, but he's just
Right.
sort of dangling her along. Like he's
point.
he's on top of this PhD thing, and he's
Yeah,
gonna
Good
crawl
point.
right over his friend to try and get what he wants, taking the easy way. But when it comes to this, like, oh shit, I got to give something to my girlfriend, otherwise she's gonna leave. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what, because he's got her on the hook. But
Yep.
Even before everything happens in this movie, like before her parents die, they're sitting in the bar all talking, the boys, and then he's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to break up with her. Like, what if I regret it later on? Like, I don't know, I might want
Yeah.
like, what if she doesn't take me back later if I break
Yeah.
up with her? It's like that's a crazy like thing to think about. Like, I want to break up with you because I want to just like fuck around and
Yes,
do
I
whatever.
know. Yeah.
But I'm hoping that maybe later on you'll like it's like if you're thinking this, then it's like it's over.
It's over.
You know?
I
Like,
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the friends. Okay, so we got to talk about her friends or his friends.
His friends,
So the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
that plays the boyfriend is perfect for that role. He's
Yeah.
absolutely perfect.
Jack Rayner.
He looks like
Jack
Seth
Rayner.
Rogen, but he's not quite Seth Rogen. I think he looks like Seth Rogen. Anyway, but we have to talk about
Kind of.
who's the friend. Will
right.
Porter.
Yeah, Will Porter.
He is. You know who Will Porter is, right, Ian? The asshole
Yeah,
friend.
yeah,
He is
yeah.
so perfect for this role.
he's punchable. Even
Yes.
before he opens
Yeah.
his mouth, you want to punch
Right.
him.
Yeah.
And the great thing I love about him is that stock character exists in a lot of movies, but it's usually the guy. There's an actor trying hard to be the asshole, but also funny. This guy's born to play this role,
Yeah.
right?
Very nonchalant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know the scenes like when they what is it? They take shrooms, right?
Yeah.
And they're laying on the ground, and he's like, okay, guys, no, I'm gonna lay down. No, lay down, everyone, come on, lay down. Like no one's laying down. Just all those moments, right? What do you think of Will Porter, Ian?
He was. No, you're right. He was absolutely perfect. Like I hate that person.
Right.
Right. he was a great sort of a sidekick for Chris as well, like just that asshole friend
egging
who's
him
gonna
on,
who's in his ear, like break up with her. You've been trying to get out of this relationship for so long. It's like, yeah, no, and there's just something about his face.
Oh, I know, like the eyebrows and like the brow, everything. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like I don't know where they found him, but like I almost feel bad for the actor because like you kind of have to.
Yes,
like, I can't divorce his performance from. Like if I ever ran into him in the street, I'd be like, "Fuck you."
I think, to be honest, I think he's gotten flack for his appearance because people like they just think he's so odd looking, and he's like, "Yeah, well, fuck you," you know what I mean? But he is odd looking. But to be honest, I first saw him in. Did you ever see the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe films? They're pretty good. Or wait, the Chronicles of Narnia films. Yeah. Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe was the first one. Then I think the Dawn Treader, and then Prince or Caspian something. I don't remember. But
I read all those books.
He's in one of the later ones.
Yeah, he's in the third one.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah. And that's what I love him as an actor. He's so great. Yeah, I read the books too, probably as a kid. But yeah, he's also Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Miscast, to be fair. I think miscast.
Yeah,
unless they do something different with him.
Was a little strange, but I think he's great. If the Academy, if they ever give out an Oscar for
Best
ripping fat vapes on your fat clouds on your vape, like he would win. Yeah. Like his acting just on that alone. Yeah. I don't know what it was. Like it sounds ridiculous to say, but like his timing on vaping was perfect.
I didn't notice that. But
like I don't. He just like chooses to do it at specific times. Sure. I don't know if that was like planned or like Ari Aster, but like
it's just like
always the wrong time.
Yeah, or just like he'll say something and then
yeah, you're right. Yep. Or what about like someone's pissing on the tree? Of course it's him.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I love that scene. I love that.
Yeah,
because that's the thing is it's all these things are things that could be realistic. Like the guy gets so pissed that he's urinating on the tree, which is somewhat realistic. It could happen, and a lot of the subtleties with the cult. For a lot of the movie are very real. Like they could happen. They could, and so it's almost like you're gaslighting yourself into thinking, well, maybe it's not that bad. Like when they fall off the cliff, you're like, oh yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe this is just the way it is. I don't want to discriminate against their culture, right? And so it's an interesting way to do it. Now, the one thing I will say is that in theaters, it was a shorter cut. And I always heard rumors about a longer cut. So unbeknownst to us, we watched the extended cut.
We did, yes. In fact, this is the only version that I've ever seen.
Interesting. Okay. Did you know?
I saw the original cut.
Okay.
And then saw the new one this time.
Gotcha.
When we watched it.
So
I didn't hate necessarily some of the stuff that they added, except for one thing.
Me too.
There's an argument.
The nighttime scene.
Because before that, the entire movie takes place during the day. Once they get to Sweden,
yes,
it's all during the day. There's not one nighttime scene.
So I think that does take away. It breaks the spell a little bit.
It kind of does, and I like what they're trying to do there. Right when they're sort of like the thing where they're going to throw the kid in the water to test his bravery. Right. That's interesting, but it like you think to yourself, well, it's always daytime here because you're so far north. How is it night at all?
I know.
Now,
I thought they said that it's 6 months or something. Like obviously it changes throughout the year, but I thought in the context of the time they were there, didn't they say at some point that it's not going to go down, the sun?
Yeah, I think they did.
So that kind of it kind of ruins it,
right? And I think too, I remember reading something about how maybe I missed the clues that were added in, but apparently Connie, the woman in the couple, the other couple, apparently she ended up being the one that they threw into the river and drowned. Okay. So it's, I guess, explaining her absence somehow. But I missed in this director's edit, like what clues were given that it was her.
Yeah.
But
was
I'm
that
not sure,
something that jumped to the forefront in the original version? Because
no, I to be honest, I think that she just disappears.
I think she disappears.
Yeah.
Honestly, Ian, I think you should purposely seek out the theatrical cut because in my opinion, other than that scene, the only everything else different about the extended cut is just longer. I don't think there's anything that jumps out as being different. It's more just longer.
Well, from what sorry to interrupt, from what I gathered just from talking to people that were in the same sort of situation, a lot of it just seemed to enrich the relationship drama between Florence Pugh and
Right.
I don't know. I do personally think that the theatrical is better. I think it tightens it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I didn't watch them
Back to
close together at all. Like, it's been a couple of years since I've seen the theatrical version, but I think I just like the idea of it completely being during the day,
Sure.
and not having
Yeah, I
any
agree.
nighttime
Yeah.
scenes, and it just builds on that. I think, but I don't know. I still thought that he was a dick in the theatrical
of
version.
course,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I do like.
So you didn't watch the long
Oh
the
my
director's cut? Like,
God.
wait a second, this guy's an
They
asshole.
ruined this character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like maybe it added some moments and it made
Sure.
it stronger, but I don't think it changed my feelings
Okay.
enough where it warranted the changes. So I don't know.
So I just wasted everybody's time. That's what you're saying.
No.
It's funny that if that one scene wouldn't have been in there, I don't even know if I would have noticed.
I don't think I would have
Right?
either.
It just
Yeah.
seemed like, I think this is longer. But anyway, so here's one thing. This is an observation I made, and maybe I'm kind of a slow learner, but I observed this when I was about maybe 30. Okay. And I'd watched horror movies my whole life, but it took me until I was 30 to realize, oh my God, this is what horror movies are about. They're about dealing with death. And not only do horror movies deal with ghosts and things coming out to scare you in the dark, a lot of movies start with a death. Like this movie started with 3 deaths. Poltergeist, a classic Tobe Hooper Spielberg film, has, I think, 2 deaths in it. You know, like sometimes in these movies, you know, a pet will die or someone will die, and it'll set, even Hereditary. It was the grandmother, right? First. Then it was
It's been a while
the
since
sister.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. So I think that it's just an interesting thing to notice that many horror, it's almost like that sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Like in the opening couple scenes, something like that will
Right.
happen. But I think that's, I don't know, that's just something to think about. You know what I mean? It's almost like, because I've been watching a lot of horror lately, and I've been thinking that it's almost like horror movies are a way of dealing with death and also the past, and like the past coming. Trust me, this isn't profound, but it's just observations I'm making. It's almost like the past coming back to haunt you, like in Poltergeist. I'll just mention that again. You've seen that, right?
Long time ago.
Okay, if you've seen the original Poltergeist,
Oh, yeah.
great movie. When they realize, all these ghosts are just the dead bodies of the Native Americans that we've built this neighborhood on, which is also an analogy for American history, right? So I just think that it's just a great way to deal with stuff like that. And I think that's why, you know, you can say elevated horror, but I think there's been great horror movies all along. Poltergeist, Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, right? Even freaking Frankenstein. That's
Yeah.
250 years old or however many years. That's a great story, you know? So what do you think, Champion?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not the most pleasant thing to make a movie about. So people are going to respond to it.
Right. And you know, I think in this one more than most, you feel those themes. Like when you think about other horror movies, like Halloween, I'm not thinking like this is about death.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
you're
Like
right,
the
you're right.
themes. But this one, I think more than most,
Yes.
you do feel that. Because at the end of the movie, you're almost rooting for her. Like you're almost like happy that she chooses Chris and that she's like finally free and has like a place
I
to
wouldn't
belong.
use the word almost.
But you're also.
Oh
it's
no,
also
I'm 100%. You mean Florence Pugh?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the whole movie for
No,
personally.
I'm rooting for her, but
But
I still feel like she lost. Like I still feel like it's a sad ending.
Oh yeah, it's a
But-
very ambiguous ending.
Yeah,
like I'm not
but
even
you're
quite sure.
Yeah.
It's like an unresolved chord. Like I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, like I'm happy that she's happy, and that she's kind of dealt with this stuff. But how it all happened is not
Of
a
course.
good thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not
it's
like
terrible.
it's not a happy ending.
Yeah.
No way is it a happy ending. But it definitely feels like there's a resolution, but it's a strange resolution. It's like
Right.
It's a strange resolution, but I think it's a positive resolution because when it comes right down to it, I mean, aside from some of the characters that we don't get to meet, that we don't get to know very well, like Connie and her boyfriend, like we know them a little bit, but they're just sort of extra people,
Right.
Florence Pugh is the person that we care about in this film, and all the people around her are kind of dicks to some degree.
Right.
So to see them all die I'm not going to get too misty-eyed over it.
Sure.
And she's been put through the ringer since the opening credits.
Yeah.
So to see her get accepted into this community, to finally find that support system that she's never had in her life, it's sort of a big deal. And despite the
Interesting.
fact that it's an alien sort of a culture, again, like the people in this town, I can't really look at them and say they're evil. Even though they've done some evil things. It's a cultural difference.
Right.
They're not malicious.
They're not
necessarily.
malicious.
Right.
They're doing things out of tradition
Right.
and out of trying to make sure that their society thrives. I don't know.
Okay, I want to say one more thing about Florence Pugh, because Josh, you mentioned how she's going to go on to greater things, or she's going to whatever. She already
She is, yeah,
She's
yeah.
pretty much already there. Champion, have you seen Black Widow the movie?
I have not. That's a Marvel movie,
It's
right?
a Marvel movie.
Yeah, Iron Man 2. I'm still. that's
Okay,
where I am.
okay. So in Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, it was her first solo film. She'd already been
movie
in
about her
10
character.
Marvel movies. They finally gave her own movie. But then in the movie, you're introduced to Florence Pugh playing her sister, who's the new Black Widow. Florence Pugh blows Scarlett Johansson off the screen. She blows her away. And then she goes on to be in Hawkeye, the TV show.
Yep.
She is so funny, so tough, so interesting.
Charismatic.
So
Yeah,
charismatic. She's just incredible. She's
And
just
she's kind of an antagonist in
Right,
the movie too, but
right.
she's still like, yeah, she's
just, I mean, Scarlett Johansson's done a couple good movies like Marriage Story and maybe a few others, Under the Skin, but I've never thought she had much range as an actress. You know, I don't understand why she's the biggest movie star
Right.
or in the world or whatever level she is, but I think Florence Pugh's a much better actress. So,
yeah, I think so.
Just wanted to say
I
that.
definitely enjoy her roles more. I think she has a lot of depth to her.
And she absolutely carried this movie on her back.
Yep. You're
100%,
100% right.
yeah.
You're totally right. Like there's a certain opinion of like kind of just not relying too much on the actors. Like Hitchcock said that actors should be treated like cattle. But a movie like this, for what happens as far as the emotions, you're right.
Yeah.
You need someone who can carry this freaking movie. And I don't know how old she was when she did this, but
I think she was young.
yeah, like to go from almost a nobody and unknown to doing this is incredible. And now
Yeah.
she's huge, right?
And that's not to say that the people that were cast around her in any way were lacking.
No,
No.
they're all great.
There was a
They were
fantastic
all
cast.
strong.
But she was just like, everyone was here, but she's,
Yep.
my goodness.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, Ari Aster also did, after this, he did Beau Was Afraid. I didn't love it.
And Eddington.
And Eddington, I didn't love it. So,
I haven't seen either. of them,
Ian, have you seen
but
those two movies?
I haven't. I've heard not the greatest. I haven't heard bad things
Yeah,
about them,
they
but
don't click. They don't
yeah,
click.
just a bit
And
of a letdown after
exactly
these other
the 1-2
these other
punch.
films. Yeah.
I mean, I still think he's a good director, and I'll see anything he does. But yeah, he's got to right the ship. I think, right?
Well, I mean, I think this is a lot of pressure that gets put onto somebody like Ari Aster, who kind of comes out of nowhere, and he has the opportunity to create what has probably been his vision for a long time.
Right.
Right. And after you've put all of yourself into a film, where do you go? You have people saying, "Here's more money, make more art," and you're like, "Okay, this took me it took me a few years to
Right.
make it, but it took me 20 years
Yep.
think of
up
the
here."
idea.
That's a great
right?
point.
So
Yeah.
you can't just, all right, what's next? I don't know. Give me 20 years.
This is what we
It's the
call
George Lucas effect.
I was going to say it's
Yeah.
the appetite for destruction effect,
Ooh.
but we won't talk about that. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Well, basically, and the Doors, when you have a band that is a bar band and they have a set list and they play the shit out of that set list and they develop the songs, right? And they cater them to the audience reaction and they add and add and add. Then when you record those songs all in 1 or 2 albums, after that, it's like Ian said, okay, here's $1 million. Now come up with 10 more songs. Okay, how long do I have? 2 weeks. You know, it's just, it's not possible. Yeah. So maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. But I'm still going to keep seeing everything he does.
Yeah.
Same, yeah.
Yep. That's it. Is there anything else to say about Midsommar?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot to say. I feel like we could do another
Part 2?
hour
Yeah.
on this movie alone, but
Well, I'm just going to say that despite the fact that most people think like The Conjuring and Insidious, those movies are like the revival of horror. I think it's stuff like this and The Witch.
I agree.
And it follows.
I was made to watch like all the Insidious movies, and I thought they were absolute trash.
They do have scary moments, but overall, yeah, they're Hollywood scary. They're not great.
And I think that's what horror, for the most part, is for me. Is they're scary, but then once the movie's off, I'm not thinking about it. It's no longer scary.
No.
Like I'm not gonna say that if I watch these movies, I'm not going to get scared.
Right.
But the second the TV's off, it's gone.
Yep.
This movie, it sticks with you. Like
Yep.
you think about it, like these small moments, and it's not just the gory moments. It's those psychological things. It's the fact that we care about Florence Pugh. So when these bad things are happening, I am scared and I'm feeling these things.
And I think it's also the attention to detail that this movie has and The Witch has, because they're both like Witch is a period piece and this is kind of like set in another culture.
Right.
And like I said, take out all the horror and you have a movie that is so authentically creating this or replicating this other culture that you have to admire it just for that. Just for creating the experience of going to Sweden and experiencing these people with the language, the religion, the way they dress, the way they eat. And I'm sure some of it's made up, but some of it is, a lot of it is authentically researched, right?
But even the made up stuff, I feel like they do a really good job of like making it make sense as well, or even having meaning towards it.
Yeah.
So like the one thing that stood out to me this time watching it was the Swedish guy, not Sven, what was his name? Pele.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He's explaining kind of like the life cycles and how the beginning is spring, and then from this age to this age is summer, then this age to this age is fall, then from here to here is winter. And then they're like, okay, well, what happens at 71? Yeah, and it's like a joke or whatever, right? But it actually, we see it later on.
Yeah, it's almost
what
great
it is.
foreshadowing. Yes, that's great.
Also, on top of that, in that explanation, it's Florence Pugh's birthday, and she is right in the middle of the summer month.
Josh has done his
really?
research. Wow.
Yeah. So I picked up obviously on the winter thing. The first
Holy
time it's very in
moly.
your face, but she turns the age where you're right in the middle of summer.
So this movie's even better than we thought.
Yes.
I think that honestly, the more we watch it, we'll find those small details and little things that pop out. Because it does really have a lot of care.
And that's the thing is these movies, they don't get that much respect. Like horror movies never win Oscars, even though Florence Pugh should have got an Oscar for this. Toni Collette in Hereditary was incredible. I thought she should have got something for that. Got nothing. And the attention to detail. And this should have got something. Maybe it did. Maybe I didn't really research, but costumes, music. It won 17 awards.
It won Best Picture.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, whatever. I don't know.
The costumes are so
Incredible.
good.
Incredible. Yes.
That final scene where she's like in that, like she looks like a monster.
Yep.
Like she's in this like beautiful floral gown, but as she's like walking through this empty field, and we're like, so the camera is so far back, and it's just her running, and she almost looks like a slug or something, like crawling across the screen. She's just like in tears, like I don't know. You take something so beautiful, set it during the day, and it's still somehow
it's
like
something
off-putting and scary. Like it's
Well, also the music.
Yeah,
There's this constant like uncomfortable, discordant kind of drone throughout a lot of the movie, and it's very it makes you feel uneasy, right?
Yeah, it feels like summer. You know, like when you're like outside in the sun and there's like that haze,
In
and
a
you
bad
kind of
way,
have that like hum from like cicadas or something.
Yeah,
it
that's
has
a good
that
point.
like
That's a good point. Yeah.
like eerie.
Yes.
So much atmosphere.
Yeah.
Proving that, it's just the way that you do it. Even like Alfred Hitchcock, he did a movie called The Trouble with Harry, and one of his goals was, I'm going to make a suspense movie about murder, but it's going to be broad daylight. And the whole movie was broad daylight. He purposely was like, no, this is what I don't want to do the cliche of the dark alley and the cat coming out at you. I want to put it in broad daylight to see how I can play around with that. And that's what I think he did here.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go, Midsommar. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Same,
And in the 21st century, it's in the top 5, I think. In my opinion, Champion, what do you rate this movie?
It's one of my, if not my favorite horror movie of all time. And after some of the stuff we've been talking about, I think that using a term like elevated horror becomes absolutely necessary. Because when you compare a movie like this to any of the Insidious movies, you're never going to look at one of those films and see one of the most talented young actors currently involved in any movies. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see a performance on the level of Florence Pugh. You're never going to see the attention to detail in costumes, or that the set pieces were incredible.
Yes.
Like the set design, the paintings on the interiors of these buildings. You're not going to find any of that. This is that's a totally different sort of art form. And there are horror elements to it. You know, and sometimes when I think about this film, I think that some of the horror elements detract from it. Right? Some of the violence, when it goes over the top just a little bit, like it's like, we don't need this.
Give us one example.
When after they fell off.
Oh no, I know what you're gonna say, but I know what you're saying. It's one of those borderline ones, but
it pulls me out a little bit.
Okay,
right? Like it's like now we're in a horror movie.
But
whereas before it was just this, I'm steeped in this suspense, and now it's like, you're throwing stuff in my face.
To me, I'll say it still fits because it's still not malicious. It's still like, no, we have to help them because they didn't finish the job. We have to help them. So to me, I think it's fine.
Well,
but
I do agree, and I'm conflicted on this point,
sure.
right? And it's not. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there's an argument there that perhaps the movie might have been just a little bit better had they pulled back on some of that.
Okay. Anything, Josh, that you didn't like?
I don't think so. I think maybe the only thing is Connie and
the other guy.
Yeah.
Like not getting really a resolution for them, but they were always kind of in the background, so it doesn't bother me too much.
The only thing, because that bothers me a little bit too, is that there was some sort of lore at the end that so many people had to die, and this was the reasons, and they were among them. And if there's some reason why they're there, then they should have their death should have had a bit more gravitas. I think. Yeah,
because the other characters, they're like comeuppance has something to do with like their characters too, like. The one guy dies because he was at the beginning the kids are playing Skin the Fool or Skin the Jester or whatever, and he becomes a scarecrow and has the jester hat on at the end of the movie. The Josh gets killed because he's taking pictures of the book.
Yes,
so like he can't help himself because of his schooling, and that's how he dies. The other one dies because, Florence Pugh decides that he should die, but also really it's like him having sex with the woman and kind of getting entrapped there. So they all have like a reason, kind of like Wizard of Oz. Like they have like this like thing about them.
Okay,
and I feel like the other two, we don't know enough about them to fit that.
That could be true, yeah.
They just died.
Yeah, because the guy too, we see him like strung up and his lungs have been pulled out of him. And there's flowers in his eyes. Remember the Chris after he runs into the shack or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't maybe I missed it, but I don't understand why that happened to him.
I think, in my opinion, I'm just saying, I think it's okay to have a little bit of ambiguity about some things, or at least some things not fully explained.
Right.
As long as they are explainable in hindsight.
Yeah.
Which maybe they're not, maybe they are. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much.
And this movie is also 7 hours long to begin with. So
Right.
Can't explain too much more.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely don't dislike the movie because of that, but it's maybe just one thing I noticed.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And if I had to find a flaw, I don't even know if I could find one. There's got to be something. But no, I really do think this movie's... It's not, like you said, Ian, it's not just one of the best horror movies I've seen. It's one of the best movies I've seen, period, in 25 years. Like, and that's why I love Ari Aster. So there you go. We are going to be reviewing more horror movies very soon because Shocktober is here. So we're going to be doing like 5 horror movies in a row, maybe even more. So expect more.
That's ridiculous.
I know, right? So be sure to join us every weekish for Laser Brains, every 2 weeks for Tape Crusaders, every 2 weeks for UK Corral. What else is there? I think that's it. That's it. And Josh, tell everybody where you can find our episodes.
Yeah, you can find all of our stuff over on our website at comicbooksyndicate.com. You can also find the video format versions on our YouTube channel, so check us out there.
And we want to thank Champion one more time.
Of course.
You're welcome,
All right.
guys.
Okay.
Oh, shucks.
Until the next time, see you later. By Ari Aster, who I first discovered when he directed The Witch, which I freaking love. Sorry, we have to start this again. I'm talking about the wrong director.
Yes, Ari Aster did not direct
Ari
The
Aster
Witch.
did do
No, but
Hereditary, though.
He's Hereditary, not The Witch.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't say. There's no way I can say that. We can keep the beginning because that was really funny.
Okay.
Let's do an edit right here. We're here to talk about Midsommar, directed by Robert Eggers, who did The Witch.
No, this is Ari Aster.
No, you're right. Okay.
Wait, were you doing a bit?
No, I'm not doing it, but I was dead serious. I'm dead serious. Who the fuck directed this? Is it Ari Aster?
Ari Aster.
Okay.
Ari
Yeah.
Aster.
Hi, we're here to talk about Midsommar.
You see me just like slowly scrolling back,
Directed
like.
by
Robert Redford.
Okay, this is officially all staying in.
Okay, no. Hi, we're here to talk about Midsommar, directed by Ari Aster, one of my favorite
Ari
directors.
Aster.